Welcome, friends, to the third installment of Free Talk with Freeman. Starting off our list today, I'd actually like to start with sports. I'd like to talk to you about the hockey game last night. Now, I'm not much of a hockey guy. I've never really followed hockey. As I told a friend of mine before, the only thing I know about hockey is what I learned from Emilio Estevez in Mighty Ducks. So, I never really got too into hockey. I never really followed it, but I was working last night and my phone went off. The ESPN little notification went off at about 1:21. It was 1 something in the morning, and I was like, "What in the world's going on at 1 in the morning?" And I look and I see triple overtime between Blackhawks and Bruins. I really wish I wasn't working that night so I could have actually seen the game. I mean, even as a guy who's not really that into hockey, triple overtime, 4-3 Blackhawks over Bruins to final score. That must have been an amazing, exciting game. I'm really, really sad that I missed it, and I hope to catch some highlights on ESPN or somewhere because that just sounded like an amazing game. So, well done, Blackhawks. I know they're partying real hard in Chicago right now. I'd like to take this time to talk about the Xbox One. Now, as what may be considered a hardcore gamer, and as someone who typically follows E3 and breaking news of that nature, I will let you know that I did not really get to follow E3. I did see Microsoft's press conference a couple weeks back when they first revealed the Xbox One. I didn't really get a chance to see any of Sony's big news or Nintendo's. I have a Twitter feed, so I got some of my news from there. The thing I'd like to focus on is the Xbox One and the inability to loan your games to friends. I have heard, I don't know if this is true because I didn't investigate it, I have heard that you can loan your game to up to 10 friends, and there will be a free license for up to 10 friends, but past that it would be locked out and you have to pay to unlock the license, which would be the same as paying for the game. What I believe is happening here is Microsoft is trying to phase out discs. I don't know if that's true, but it just seems like they want to go all digital. They want you to just purchase a digital copy of the game and keep it on your hard drive. That's what Microsoft is shooting for here. I believe that they really, really are just trying to get away from hard disks, which I can understand that, trying to move forward in that direction. The problem is companies like Redbox and Gamefly, GameStop, old school, they're going to suffer from this. And people don't always want to just drop $60 on a game and then realize it wasn't what they wanted. People want to rent games to see if they want to own them, or they just want to rent them to play them for a little while and then they'll never pick them up again. It's really hard to put down $60 for a game when you're only going to play through it a couple of times, 20, 30 hours at max, and then you're done with it. I think Microsoft is trying a little too hard to push things forward into the future. I don't think the industry, I don't think consumers are ready to go 100% digital. Apple and the iPod have pretty much done that, but we still see CD stores and the shelves are still filled with CDs. Yes, it's a lot less than it used to be, and yes, it is mostly digital now, but they're still there. The demand for hard disks is still there, and I don't think games is ready for that yet, and Microsoft's trying to push that a little too early, in my opinion. Now, to talk about Sony and the PS4, I did not get a chance to actually view their press conference, but I've heard enough. For one thing, I know the price is going to be far less than what they initially had announced, which was, I think, $600, which was the price of the PS3 when it came out, coincidentally. So I know Sony has the winning edge on the price factor. They also have the winning edge on the fact that they're not forcing you to purchase a digital license when you put your copy of the game in someone else's console, or someone else's copy of the game in your console, rather. I did enjoy that little short clip that Sony put together, a little cheap shot at Microsoft. I think it was great. It's hilarious, of how to share games on the PS4. If If you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. It's really funny. Low blow. And you know what? It's a business, so go ahead. I say pull no punches. You know, you're in competition. Go ahead and take those shots. It's all game. And of course, Nintendo has come out with their share of games for the Wii U. Now, I have not purchased a Wii U because at the time that it came out, the only thing that interested me was Nintendo Land, which I have played, and it is phenomenal. It's a lot of fun. It's a great party game. It's got some great single-player games on it, too. It's actually a very extensive game. But other than that, I really had no interest in any of the other games. So I didn't see the point of getting a Wii U. But I will tell you that I have just now purchased a Wii U, and it is on its way for one game and one game only. And I think we all know what that is. Super Smash Brothers for the Wii U. SmashBros.com. Check it out. Watch the trailer. Me and my friends play Smash Brothers on the Wii all the time, and when this game comes out, we are just going to rock it. It's going to be so great. I do want to talk about some hopes for characters I'd like to see. Obviously, I'd like to see maybe not the full roster that was in Smash Brothers Brawl, but at least close to it. They have already announced that Link, Mario, Donkey Kong, Samus, Fox, and Pikachu, and Bowser, and I believe I saw Kirby as well, are part of the roster for this new game. So that's your standard, been there pretty much since the beginning, your standard roster. I would like to see either Ike or Roy back from Melee and Brawl. I love the Fire Emblem characters. I think they're great. So I'd like to see, if not one of them, maybe a new Fire Emblem character, because I know there's a new Fire Emblem that just came out for the 3DS, actually, which I'm going to have to pick up at some point. But back to the original point, some characters I'd like to see in the new Smash Brothers game. We've already been announced that we're getting Mega Man. Spoiler. Sorry. Should have called that before, shouldn't I have? Yeah, okay. Sorry. But yes, we are getting Mega Man. And again, go to SmashBros.com. Check out the trailers. They've also announced Villager from Animal Crossing. Obviously, I myself am not very excited about that one, but should be an interesting character. I imagine it's going to be similar to like a Ness or the Lucas from the Brawl series. I would love to see Sonic back, and in addition to Sonic, I want Knuckles. I've talked to a couple of friends about this, and most of them agree with me that having a Knuckles character would just be so amazing. But unfortunately for myself and other Knuckles fans, Tails really is given a spotlight a lot more than Knuckles. So I think at best we're probably looking at Tails being a character and Knuckles maybe being an assist trophy. Unfortunately, I don't see that being any different. They'll probably even add Shadow in, which personally you can forget Shadow and give me Knuckles. Honestly, I could do without Tails. I could do without Shadow. I just want Knuckles in my Smash Brothers. So, December, we will see. I'm sure they're going to announce new characters regularly at Nintendo's website, so I'm going to be checking that. I will update you guys on that as soon as I learn more information. My last bit of gaming news today is going to be about the downloadable content that was just recently released for Injustice: Gods Among Us. For those of you who already know, forgive this brief description, but Injustice: Gods Among Us is a fighting game in the style of the latest Mortal Kombat game that was released. And it's a fighting game that stars characters from the DC Comics universe. So you have Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Superman, Green Lantern, Sinestro. You get the idea. So when they announced that there's going to be DLC for it, everyone's excited. First DLC that comes out is Lobo. Phenomenal. Everybody loves Lobo. And then they announced that Batgirl is coming out. Batgirl on there is awesome. And then they release Scorpion from Mortal Kombat as DLC. The problem that I personally have with this is you have just turned this incredible fighting game of DC Universe into DC versus Mortal Kombat 2. And I did not want DC versus Mortal Kombat 2. I wanted Injustice, Gods Among Us. There are so many great DC Universe characters you could have picked from to introduce as DLC. And you give me Scorpion. And now that you've given Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, guess what's next? Sub-Zero, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade. And now we have Mortal Kombat versus DC 2, which is not the game we bought. We bought Injustice, Gods Among Us. Thanks a lot, guys. You've completely undermined this beautiful, brilliant game you had and gave us a sequel to a game that was mediocre at best. And now to everyone's favorite section of the blog, Dumbest Ish I've Heard All Week. The first story I have for you is the story of a man who was, how can I say this? He was caught having sex with his unconscious neighbor, and he's claiming that he was saving her life. Not really sure there's much I can add to this at this point. Really? Really? You had sex with your unconscious neighbor to save her life. Okay, fella. I have nothing to add, so that's it. That's the story. I didn't read it. Sorry for the broken up information. I only read the headlines because I just can't read these articles. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills every time I see one of these articles, and I just can't read through them. I'm sorry, I can't. The second story I have here is a bill was passed recently in Russian parliament that makes it illegal to, and I'm quoting here, promote homosexual propaganda to minors, suggest that this behavior is attractive, and to say that gay relationships are equal to heterosexual relationships. It is illegal in Russia to basically talk about gay people. Well done, conservatives. I really try not to get too upset at these stories. To say that it is illegal to call a gay relationship equal to that of a heterosexual relationship, it's sickening. Obviously, by my reaction to this, you all know my stance on homosexuality. I'm going to say it right now. You can unfriend me, you can unfollow me, you can send me angry emails, whatever, I don't care. How does two men making out affect your life in any way at all? It doesn't. Who cares? I feel like I'm about to start a tirade or a rant that is going to cause an argument and it's going to blow way out of proportion, but let me say that this is ridiculous. There is no reason anybody should care what anyone else's sexual orientation is. Do gay people care that straight people are straight? Of course not. Just some food for thought there. That wraps up this segment of Dumbest Ish I've Heard All Week. I'd like to finish up here discussing an issue that plagues everyone in the workplace. Specifically, a situation happened to me at work last night. I apologize for the ambiguity, but due to the nature of my job and my position at my job, I'm not going to go into any detail whatsoever. But I know this is an issue at every workplace, doesn't matter where you are. Everybody in the workplace is grown. They're adults. You know, nobody has the time to constantly feed egos, or to babysit, or to worry about hurt feelings, or to quash rumors. You know, this isn't high school anymore, guys. Nobody has time for drama. You're supposed to be doing a job. Do your job. If you're getting paid and collecting a paycheck, you need to earn it. Yes, that sounds very simple, and yet it seems that some people just don't grasp this concept. It's not high school anymore, folks. You know, we can stop with the rumors and the name-calling and all this stuff. And on the flip side of that, people don't have any power or control or any influence on your life unless you let them. A recent tweet of mine comes to mind where I had tweeted, I was wearing this shirt actually, and I tweeted, I'm a hashtag Paul Heyman guy. A response was sent where someone goes, oh, another fat guy living with his mom. Hashtag Paul Heyman guy is just another stupid catchphrase. And I was on the verge of responding and saying, dude, I have my own place. I pay mortgage. I have my own car, you know. You don't know me. And then right before I started typing it up, I realized he doesn't know me. He has no effect on my life whatsoever. So why should I care? And that's the trick right there. If somebody is saying something bad about you, who cares? What difference does it make what they think of you? They don't control your life. They're not your boss or your mom or your dad or your boyfriend or your girlfriend. They have no effect on your life whatsoever until you let them and you let it get to you and it elicits a response. People are going to say bad things. People are going to be ignorant and rude. Ignore it. And I know a lot of times that's harder than it sounds. You think I haven't had my share of insults and put downs? Please. But I don't let it get to me anymore. I realize that a person has no impact on your life until you let them. So with my final thoughts here, be kind and be nice to the people who matter to you. And be polite and professional and courteous to the people who have no impact on your life. That's all I have for you today here on Free Talk with Freeman. I'd like to thank everyone for their time. Please follow me on Twitter at Darth Siege. Comment with suggestions for next week's show. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more Free Talk with Freeman. And check out my other videos. Thank you for joining me. Stay chilled, everybody.